Hello, and welcome to the Living Scary podcast.
Podcast where we talk about real-to-real horror so you can live by scariously through us.
I'm Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments special, Logan, and I like to watch and talk about horror movies.
And I'm the underage children that are tuning in to watch, McCall, and I like to talk about true crime and murder.
Holy fuck, McCall.
We did it.
100 fucking episodes.
100! We did it!
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, it only took us 5 years.
Can you believe, that was the other thing, is like, can you believe how long we've been fucking doing this?
Long.
Because we started this before the pandemic started.
Oh my God. And then it started and we were like, well, shit.
It almost gave us more reason to keep going because it was like, well, we don't have anything else
We can't go outside.
Yeah.
Can't talk to other people.
And we've been doing it ever since.
And then you moved, and then we had to figure out a way to do it virtually.
Honestly, all I see it is like, it's a story of us being able to rise above.
And being best friends about it.
Yes.
But I don't get pizza anymore.
We could
and that's
buy
a bummer.
You could buy the pizza yourself.
Yeah, but I would be the only one eating it.
That's the problem.
Is the problem. You and me would eat the pizza, and it was like a thing. Now, Brendan would just watch me put a bunch of gluten in my mouth that he can't have.
And then you can't touch him the rest of the night because he'll die.
He'll die. His lungs will close. Just kidding. It's
celiac disease.
It's celiac. It's not peanut allergy.
Oh, we went to, the area I'm living in, I think I've said it before. Actually, we went to the county fair.
Yes, you sent me pictures.
It was cute. They had like, oh my God, I have to show you the video of this pig run. It was so cute.
This pig run.
It was called Swifty Swine.
Oh my God.
And they did a running of the pigs. It was so funny.
How big are these pigs?
They were like miniature potbelly pigs. Like they were little baby pigs.
Oh,
yeah.
babies.
They were the ones that you'd be losing your shit over.
I would be losing my shit. I would love to have a pet pig, but I can't even get a pet cat. So, you know what? I just know that I'm never gonna get a pet pig.
There's part of me that feels like a pet pig might be a little more like, I don't know. I was going to say hygienic and then I'm like, no.
And then I was like, wait, it's a pig?
It's a pig.
They're smart, though. They're smart little
Super
stinkers.
Smart.
And they're so cute.
Brendan will finally have someone to relate to in the house.
Boom!
Roasted.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Even when I come over.
Yeah, I'm like, we gotta get you some like...
We gotta get him some smart friends.
So a really smart friend to just like...
We gotta get him some Big Bang Theory friends.
Yeah, we gotta find those fuckers. Oh, no. Okay. But how are you?
I'm doing fine. I was gonna say something about the fair, but I can't. Like, there was a reason I brought it up, but I don't fucking remember.
There were little piggies.
But we were talking about something before that. This is embarrassing.
Yeah,
this is devastating. Not good.
And
we can't go back. So, you know what?
Well, back to me, though.
I remember.
Wow.
So like the thing at the county fair is there was like also like all the Kiddly Whittlies did like their science fair projects, and a bunch of the science fair projects there. And one of them was on celiac disease. And I even said to Charlie, I was like, Charlie, we got to send a picture of this. This fourth grader has all the answers for
that
Brendan.
Kid also probably has celiac
disease. That was what it came. Thank God I remembered. Otherwise, I was going to fucking lose my mind about it until you posted this episode.
That kid probably, like, they're like, oh, you have to do a science experiment. And he's like, well, I already know everything there is to know about my disease, so I guess I'll just put it on a trifold board and call it good.
Okay, real talk. Charlie and I went through and I clowned on like so many fucking like displays that are like children's displays. So it's like low hanging fruit. We got
so you ripped
one.
apart a bunch of children?
Yeah, absolutely. To their face. I said, "Two," and I spit in their face. No, they were
what are
gone.
You,
it was
idiot.
There was literally nobody in this fucking room. There was a whole section of baked goods that were all moldy. Like, I'm not kidding. They were in plastic bags and moldy. And I was like, I'm sure this looked fine at one point. But anyway, so we got to like one section. Of course, I'm like, wow, this is shit. This is shit. And then there was a couple where I was like, actually, this is pretty good. And like, there was actually a fair amount that were actually pretty good. There was one that kind of shocked Charlie and I, because both of us looked at this picture. It was kind of like, it was fine. It was definitely like it was a little kid. It looked like it was like a figure standing on a hill overlooking a sunset. And we were kind of like, this is an interesting picture. Like, it's cute. I mean, it's not like great or anything like that. And we looked at the name of the picture. The name of the picture was, "Do you ever think death regrets what it takes?" And I was like, whoa! Like, Charlie and I were like, holy shit!
What the fuck? What? Birth is a curse and existence is prison. What?
I was like, whoa!
That kid's going through something.
I was like, can someone check on this poor lost child? Like,
They got a hold of the counselor immediately.
Wait, what was it? No, who was this sassy lost child? It was very that. I was like, whoa.
Well, Jesus Christ. That's a smart kid, though. That's like a good name.
Oh, and then we literally, when we walked to it, we just missed the corgi run. There was like a corgi races, and we just missed it.
Why are they racing everything under the sun?
I don't know, but I tell you what, I was looking at all those squat little bitches, and I was like, Stella would smoke all of these whores. Smoke.
These absolute whores.
He's bottom of the barrel.
I mean, Stella
woof, dog show.
She is like ripped for a dog.
And she also has longer legs than all of them, so I don't know if she would qualify.
No, they would measure those and be like, sir.
Because the whole running of the corgis, the reason it's cute is because they're stubby little legs. Stella would just be like the Usain Bolt of their community, just like just destroying all of them. Also, Stella would not be nice.
She would not.
No, she would not listen, is what I'm like. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't obey. Like, Dad's like, if I have to hear one more time how great Stella would. Yes, I agree. Stella is incredibly smart and she's incredibly fast, but she does not listen that well. We got her too late in development to get her to do that shit.
Yeah, she will not. She will not yield.
And I feel like to do that now at this late stage in her life, she's in her teens now. I feel like for us to we'd need like fucking the dog whisperer to come in and be like,
Kaiser Sose has to come in here.
Yeah, to come in. Is that his name?
I don't know where I pulled that from.
Kaiser, I don't think that's right.
Wait, seriously?
I think it is Caesar. I think it is Caesar something.
Shit. Who the hell is Kaiser Sose?
I was thinking, I was like, who's Kaiser Sose? That name sounds familiar.
Okay, well. Okay.
Kaiser Sose. Who is it, Miguel? Who is it? Who is it?
If you just
what did you do?
I spelt it so incorrectly. Like,
and Google said, what?
Google said, do you mean visor size? I'm taking a picture of this. It's so embarrassing, and I'm going to send it to you later.
So Kaiser Soze is a fictional character and the main antagonist in the 1995 film The Usual Suspects. So,
where did that come from for me? As someone who's never read that. Am I okay?
I don't know. I have also heard, I think it's a Bob's Burgers thing. I think they reference Kaiser Soze in a Bob's Burgers reference. I just cannot think of it.
Oh, I gotta send you the screenshot of me spelling
No, you are thinking of Caesar Milan, who is the dog whisperer.
Which honestly, that's so close to what I said.
Kaiser Soze.
I said it and like, that can't be right.
It was not right.
Oh my. Okay, so, now that I've made a fool of myself, what?
It's a really quick note. The Bob's Burgers episode is I get a sidekick out of yourself, and Linda says I Kaiser Soze'd myself.
Yeah. There it is. Bob's Burgers. Making me look like a fool sometimes.
I get a sidekick out of you.
I love that. I like that episode. So what are you talking about?
Now that we've embarrassed ourselves, I'm actually, for our 100th episode special, it's going to be a two-parter, first of all. So I'm going to talk about a thing for this episode, and then McCall is going to talk about another thing in the next episode that has not been decided as far as I'm aware. She's working on it.
I have a thought, and I'll probably just go with that thought.
Work. Something that you've wanted to talk about for a while that you just haven't had the chance to.
I was gonna just do, because I've already done a lot of like big serial killer infamous people, but I was gonna look at like who I haven't done, and I was thinking of doing a poll on one of our thingies.
Ooh, that could be a good idea.
The problem is nobody responds to those. So we may just look foolish. But I might do it anyway.
Well, it could also give you some info. Maybe there are people who are interested in hearing about a certain thing.
And if you are, you should look at our Twitter. Because maybe I posted it, possibly. Who's to say?
But like a certain true crime or if a serial killer, of course, it'd be something like that.
I thought you glitched out.
You kind of did there for a second.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, but here's what I'm going to be talking about. So when we were younglings back in 2004, and I have distinct memories of this. I don't know if you do the way I do.
Very, very clearly.
I remember us watching Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments special, and it is stuck in my mind for years. I've not forgot about it. And recently, last year, on Amazon Prime, they did a 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments of all time. Updated. So I thought I would compare the top 10. I don't want to get through the whole list.
We're going
that's
through
too much.
every single one.
I would do the top 10. So I was thinking I'd start with the Bravo one from 2004. And then we jump to the one from last year and kind of compare and see. There's part of me that's like, they're two completely different lists done by two completely different groups of people. But like, I think I will probably be referring to them as like, oh, this got bumped from here to there, even though they were done completely by this. And
Bravo
also,
didn't do both.
Well, and also these are all, let's be real, they're all completely subjective. Everyone's allowed to think that their movie should be in the top 100 of whatever. Like, I'm sure that your top 100 would look different than mine, would look different than this person's.
So,
What?
wow. I was going to say something and I totally forgot. Jesus Christ. Okay, no, just keep, I don't know what's going on with me. You just keep going.
All right, so I was thinking I'd kind of, I wanted to ask you how you would like me to do this, because I did write it, but I wrote what the placement was, the movie, and then what the scene was, because they're not saying these are the scariest movies. I would like to be clear. They're not saying that these are the scariest movies of all time. They are only saying that this movie moment, this scene that happens in this movie is one of the scariest scenes that has ever happened.
Okay. I remember my question. Is this of all time, or is this a certain time frame of cinema?
Both of these are of all time. Now, keeping in mind, Bravo's was made in 2004.
So it's missing some stuff.
So if you're sitting there being like, where's Midsommar? Where's the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man? That movie had not been made yet. That name was not even a sparkle in the eye of whatever person came in it. Like, it was like, I hate that movie.
I hate it so much.
So that's kind of where we're sitting right now.
All right. I want you to kind of go through.
Do you want me to give me
Obviously-
spoilers if certain movies got moved to certain positions?
Oh.
Like if a movie got bumped up, do you want me to tell you that? If a movie got bumped to a lower placement, do you want me to cover that?
First 10. I want you to go obviously from 10 to 1. And I don't want you to give any indication of what happens in the future. And then when we go to the next list, if you could say if it bumped up or down, if possible. Is that possible?
I think it's possible. It might just be a little tricky. There might be it's hard because it's like I could do a couple on here because some of them like we're like, this is a number 9. It got bumped to like number 38 in a later list. Like that one, I'm like a little more like I could just do that one.
Okay.
But there are a couple that move up in a position.
If it's like in the top 10 and it's going to get higher in the top 10 or maybe lower in the top 10, save that for the second half. Okay. Unless in the first half it's like, well, now it's 38 and we're not going to talk about it in the second half.
I will only refer to it if it gets bumped to beyond the top 10.
Perfect.
And keep in mind, again, these are just the scariest movie moments of all time. These are also 20 years basically has happened between these. Like this one was made in 2004. This one was made in 2020. So 18 years had passed. A lot of really excellent horror movies had come out between now and then. So a lot of movies had to be moved from the top 10 to which again, they're completely separate lists done by completely separate people, blah, blah, blah. We're comparing them for the sake of this narrative, this thing.
I'm excited.
So let's get into it. All right. We'll start with number 10. Number 10 on Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments special from 2004 is the movie Wait Until Dark, which is a movie I especially love. I haven't watched it, but I love it. And here's why. Here's why. Because it's Audrey Hepburn's foray into horror. Like she had been doing, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Roman Holiday. She'd been doing like these, My Fair Lady. Like she'd been doing like, oh, I'm just the young ingenue who gets made over into this new person and blah, 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 blah. Whereas like this is the first time where she's like, I'm going to do something completely off the fucking walls. And she plays in this movie, she plays a blind woman. It's basically Hush, but she's a blind woman. And there's a moment.
I think you talked about this during Hush.
I did. And there's a moment in it where it's like, and it is a scene that they talk about where she ends up cutting the power to the whole place. So even the bad guys who are chasing her are blind like she is. But the advantage she has is it doesn't make any difference to her. She knows where everything in this apartment is. So the scene is lit for the audience to be able to be seen. But you recognize she is in complete darkness, and so is the bad guy. And she's already stabbed the bad guy.
Damn.
And she's like trying to go out and get help. And eventually she like comes out and there's a moment where she's walking across. It's lit like, and the set is set up very much like a play where it's like you can kind of see the whole apartment. And suddenly out from one of the corners, the guy who you thought had been stabbed jumps out at Audrey Hepburn. And it's terrifying. It is, especially for the time that it was made, it was terrifying to audiences, especially because it's Audrey Hepburn. She's legendary and nobody wanted anything bad to happen to Audrey. So it's like,
what time period, what year was this?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Give me a second. I should have put the years. I did not. It was my fault. 1967.
Oh, okay.
So this was really scary for the audiences.
Secondary question. Is it black and white?
It is. This one is black and white.
Okay. Sweet.
I think, if I remember correctly. I'm almost positive it's black and white.
Interesting.
But it is one I would like to cover. It is one I would like to cover because I think it might be out of, what's the word? It might be public domain. So maybe I can actually do it. Who knows? I mean, with a big name like Audrey Hepburn, who's to say? But this scene is one. It still is on the updated list from 2022, but it got bumped down to number 31.
Oh.
Which I think is fair because it's one of those ones where it's like within like 18 years, some movies had to get bumped.
18 years, and that's an older movie to begin with.
Yep. And for it to get top 10 in 2004, I think is impressive.
Yeah, that's honestly a little surprising to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are more that will surprise you. Just you wait.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Number 9, Night of the Living Dead. Which doesn't surprise me. I think it's it's definitely, when you mention zombie movies, it is like the zombie movie that people mention. And the scene is when the young girl stabs her mom with a garden trowel.
I remember that part.
Mm-hmm. And this scene, I agree, legendary, and it is in the most recent list. It was just bumped to number 17.
All right. So I'm like, this is the little girl, not the little girl. I don't know how old she was. She's in the basement.
She was supposed to be like a little girl. Like she was supposed to be like maybe like 10 or 12 max.
Okay. She was in the basement and she got bit.
And her
dad's like, "No, we're fine." And then she kills the mom. And then they're like, "Fuck." Okay, cool.
Yep. And the mom comes out and she's like, it is actually kind of sad because the mom actually does do a really good job of acting. Like she's like, "Baby." And then she gets stabbed by her daughter.
Bummer.
Which is funny because it's one of the instances where zombies were using tools. But so this movie is still in the 101. That's why I think this is the 100 and the new one's the 101. So that's why I was thinking about calling it. It got bumped to 17. Number 8, Carrie. The final jump scare when Carrie's hand shoots up out of the ground. I agree. This scene terrified people when Carrie came out. Like it was like people were not expecting it because it was just the way that it was shot, because it was shot in reverse, where the girl who was like laying the flowers at Carrie's grave, if I remember correctly, was actually shot walking backwards, and then when they played it forwards, so it looks really dreamy and ethereal, which is a very common thing in horror movies to kind of make things unsettling. And it has this like beautiful music, and then all of a sudden, Carrie's hand shoots out. People lost their minds. So I think in 2004, this being at 8 totally made sense. This scene got bumped to number 19 in the 101.
Okay. Question.
Yo.
That I don't know if you will know. Is this in the book? Does she shoot her
this
hand
was
out
made
at
for
the
the
end?
movie.
Okay, all right.
That I think that the shooting the hand out, I'm pretty sure was just for the movie.
It's just because it's fun and scary.
To give that one last good scare for the audience. Because I'm gonna be honest, Carrie overall doesn't have too much in the way of scares. It's very tame, actually. And overall it's sadder more than anything. And if anything, you're cheering for Carrie. You're like, yeah, Carrie.
Kill them all. Do it. We've all been to high school. We know.
There were so many of those people at high school. I was like, I would have sold your soul to Satan for one corn chip.
I mean, if they dumped pig's blood on me and I had those upset, raging hormones and pyrokinesis, you're all gone. I'm just saying. I have no control over my actions. Uh-oh.
McCall froze.
I froze. Uh-oh. I'll pause it.
Oh, no.
There we go.
All right, and we're back. McCall just glitched out for a second. I mean, we have a program. It's fine. Suffice to say, we would nuke everybody. Anyway, should we get into number 7?
7.
Number 7, I think, will shock and alarm you in certain ways. Number 7 is Silence of the Lambs. So Silence of the Lambs, it's specifically the scene where Hannibal Lecter kills the cops.
Oh, when he wears that guy's face?
But it's the scene where he's killing them over the classical music.
Oh, he's beating that guy with his billy club or whatever?
Yes.
Nice.
Now, here's where things change a little bit. So, Silence of the Lambs got bumped to number 38.
What?
In the new one. Not only that, they changed the scene. And here's what I'll say. I actually agree with the scene that they changed it to.
Is it the ending one?
Yes, it's where Starling's going through the basement in pitch black, and Bill's following her with the infrared camera.
I agree with that.
So
that is correct.
I agree that it's scarier, but I personally think that could have been higher. I think it could have been like in the 20s, maybe.
Yeah.
But 38's
embarrassing.
A little
incorrect.
Especially for one of the few movies to sweep, like it's one of the few horror movies to sweep the Oscars. Because when horror movies come into the Oscars, they destroy them. We've seen it happen time and again. The Exorcist, Silence of the Lambs, Parasite recently. Like, it happens. So I think it deserved a higher placement. But we'll kind of move into that. So the next one, this is another interesting one. The Shining. It's the scene with the all work and no play where
give me the bat.
Yep, give me the bat. Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall kind of have their back and forth. That's the scene. The interesting thing about the scene, it's in the exact same place on both lists. It is number 6 on both lists.
Interesting.
So clearly both lists were like, it's got to be The Shining.
I don't know. I watched The Shining and it was fine. I wasn't scared ever, but I thought like the old lady in the creepy mint room, that was scarier, right? No?
I think it was scarier in like a jump scary kind of way. Just like seeing the twins was like a jump scarier kind of scene. I think the idea of watching your spouse go actively insane and try to attack you,
pretty scary.
And you're trying to not only defend yourself, but also defend your child. I think the psychology of that scene's a little scarier.
And you're built at like olive oil with just pipe cleaners for arms.
And you're not holding the bat right at all.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time. All right. Yeah. I'll agree. That is scarier.
So it is funny because it's like, the Shining is in the same spot in both lists. All right. Next is the Tejas Chainsaw Massacre. Massacre. And it on both lists, it's the same scene. It's the hammer to the head. We will touch base on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre later.
Okay. This is okay. If I'm getting the scenes correctly, because I haven't actually watched these movies.
It is when the first... You haven't seen it?
No, I've never watched it.
Okay, then put that on our list of ones to watch when I come home. But because it's a good movie. I really do like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's the very first... Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
You've described it very well in that I think it's our first episode.
It's like one of our first ones, like at least one of our first 5.
But it's like the guy, the boyfriend, and he's in the house and he gets just sledgehammer to the head.
The sound effect for the hammer hitting his head is so like, it's so like, it's you feel it. It's like, and then like he starts convulsing on the ground like someone does when they get hit in the head. He does it so good. And then Leatherface just grabs him, pulls him in, and there's just a definitive like shoot as like this metal door slams shut. And someone someone puts it really well. I can't remember who it was in the documentary that was very well. They're like, that's the sound of death. It kind of just goes shunk, and it's like,
he ain't coming back.
Yeah. So no, I think it is a very good scary scene from that movie. But we'll touch base more on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 4. I'm sure we all saw this one coming sometime on this list. Psycho.
Yeah.
It's the shower scene. I mean, need I say more? It's legendary. It literally made an entire generation afraid of taking a shower. Grandma, I think, still does not take a shower, even though I would argue
not like it.
Even though I would argue that you're in a much more vulnerable place if you're in a bath because you're lying down.
Yeah, but I can see him coming at me, like maybe if you have one of those showers with the glass.
If I'm standing up, I have more movement.
I have never felt more vulnerable than when you're in a shower and there's a spider on the ground and you're like,
Oh,
I'm
then
so
I'm
naked,
naked and afraid. I'm naked and afraid.
I can't imagine how much that would be multiplied if a man with a knife came in at me. Like, I already can't handle the spider.
And we will touch base on Psycho in a little bit. The next movie the next movie scene, I should say. I should be emphasizing this is not the scariest movies of all time. These are scariest scenes. Is The Exorcist. This is an interesting one because this is another one where it changes between lists. And I don't know, do you want me to like kind of, you know what? I will describe the list because I will touch on The Exorcist when we do the next list. I will describe for you the scene that they chose in this one.
Okay.
So for this one, they chose the scene where Father Karras and oh god, I'm blanking on the older priest's name.
The old man.
Yeah, where they are trying to get Reagan, and Reagan does the full 360 head spin because it's pretty iconic.
Yeah,
the way that it's been redone time and again, like you can't dispute how iconic to not just horror but pop culture. That
everyone knows it.
Everyone knows
what that is. But
speaking of scenes, everyone knows the next one, Alien.
Oh,
the chest burster.
Hell yeah!
And that again is it's not just one of the most iconic horror movie scenes. It's one of the most iconic sci-fi moments of all time. Like the way that scene has also been redone time and again. Like it's so good. And this is one that's devastating. It gets moved to number 11 in the 101. Yeah.
No.
I think it's still a respectable spot. And I kind of have to be like, it's kind of things where it's like, well, you had to make room for like the new movies because there are tons of really good horror movies that have come out in the 18 years since the Bravo one.
I don't want to bring this all back to spiders, but nothing accurately describes the fear you feel when you try to kill a spider and it scuttles away into a corner than when the chest bursts and then he just like scuttles away and you're like left with this feeling of like, oh my god, it's gonna come
and you're
back.
left with a dead body and like, oh god. Yeah. But no, I think, and number one here, and this is one that I think rings especially true for me. The number one scariest movie moment of all time in 2004 from Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments of All Time list. Jaws. The opening sequence where the girl is out in the water and she first gets grabbed by Jaws. It is literally the reason I don't like water. Like it's tragic because I love swimming, but I'm also terrified of water. Especially the ocean, because it's where the water lives. It's where the water lives. It's where the sharks live. It's where they live. So Jaws and Deep Blue Sea fucked me up.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea was not a good choice for you as a kid.
And this scene was moved to number 14.
Incorrect.
On the most recent list.
No.
Yeah.
It should at least be top 10. And
to go, like, quite possibly it's the most devastating. To go from number 1 to 14, even though it literally gave everyone a fear of the ocean. And also, it had real world ramifications. Like, it gave rise to an industry around hunting and killing sharks.
Which we shouldn't do because sharks are nice. Again,
and I would say, even though I'm terrified of sharks, I do not want them killed because they're just chilling in their living rooms. Yeah. We are the ones who are invading their space. It's where the shark lives. Like, what do you expect? It's like going into the forest and getting mauled by a bear. It's where the bear lives. Why would you go there? Stay in the city where it's safe. I hate it. I don't understand.
And have you ever seen someone pet a shark? It's actually pretty cute. I just gotta say it.
They've got silly. They kind of got silly, dumb faces, especially when you're not like staring one like right in the face.
Oh yeah, if I was in the ocean looking at one, I would feel fear. But when I look at like videos of them, I'm like, they could be kind of cute.
Yeah, you look at a shark. Oh, there's this terrible picture, this horrible, awful picture. It's not. It's like just a regular picture, but it's a shark. There's nothing around. It's just like, and you see the sand on the bottom, and it's a shark, and it's facing you. And I'm like, and that's where I would shit my pants and die. Like
I wouldn't even need the shark to do any work there. I would just be dead.
I would just go, and I would just be gone.
Yeah, that checks out. I would too.
But that is the top 10 of Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments. Now, if you want to watch the full enchilada, it is 100% certified free on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
So if you ever want to relive some nostalgia, McCall, or if you guys are interested in seeing what things were like in 2004, watch it, because they don't discriminate. It's not just for horror movies. There are other movies that are in Bravo's list as well. Give me just a second. Like, hold up. But I do know one of them is Wizard of Oz.
Okay, that's fair though. That one has the
Wicked Witch of the
shit.
West. Yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West.
They should bring up those trees and their scary voices.
Oh, I did not like the trees at all. But they also have like
apples are what they're supposed to be. I don't know. I can't do the voice.
Said. Yeah, Dad always said it.
Dad could do the voice so good, and it scared the shit out of me.
Hated it. The Wizard of Oz is on there. What's another one that was kind of Jurassic Park, which is scary. I wouldn't say it's ostensibly a horror movie, but there are definitely some scary fucking scenes in.
I'd say that teeters. It's pretty scary.
There are like the idea of like, oh my god, the scene where they're in the car and you see the Tyrannosaurus Rex's eye, and it changes. It's intimately real. Like
that
it's
is
like
so good. Also, just the whole kitchen scene with the raptors. The part where that guy's arm comes out and she grabs it thinking he's there, and then it's just his arm. I
felt so bad for him too.
I did too. But yeah, I think I would classify that as horror.
I don't know if I call it horror. Definitely thriller. Definitely thriller, I would say.
Thriller, that's fair.
But yeah, so like I would definitely recommend it, because like I said, for now, it's on YouTube. I don't like it's been on YouTube for years, so I don't like I've watched it a couple times now.
Since I don't have a segment for this, I'm going to just input McCall's thoughts, because I watched this when I was a child. And the things that stood out to me, I remember very viscerally. Cabin Fever was on the list.
I remember Cabin Fever.
And it's when she's shaving her legs.
Yep.
And her skin starts to come off. And I was like, holy shit. But then they were like talking about the scene. I feel like they even had someone who was working on it. But the actress was like shaving her legs, and they were doing that. And they just had a guy in the corner with like a little ketchup bottle full of fake blood, and he was just like squirting it on her face. So that's funny.
Well, what I will say is it wasn't on, Cabin Fever was not on the original list. Cabin Fever was on the sequel list, which is 30 even scarier movie moments.
There it is then. Okay, that checks out.
And that was in 2006, which I'm looking at it, and there are several scenes I think that we watched on this one as well.
Okay. Tell me which list this was on. Slither?
It was still Bravo. It was still Bravo.
All right. Slither, when I think
Slither, yep, that was on there.
Some lady is like all full of slugs.
It was literally the next one. Like, so Cabin Fever was 28, Slither was 27.
That fucked me up. Like, as a child, I was so afraid. I'm sure if I looked at it now, it would not look as scary, but it felt very scary.
You'd be wrong. I haven't watched Slither. I haven't watched Slither yet, but I watched that scene like on something, and it was like, I don't like it.
She literally, for those in the audience that don't know and didn't watch this as a kid and think about it every night, she's like filled with slugs, and she's gonna like give birth in quotes, and her skin like rips she just explodes. And it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. But also she's like smack talking some bitch in the moment too.
She is talking shit. She's talking shit. I remember that one.
I remember being like, this is funny, but I'm very afraid.
But no, they did come out with a sequel in 2006 that was 30 even scarier movie moments that they added.
Then that stuck with me, I guess.
I think we watched like both, because I remember watching the 100 and I remember seeing like the ones you're talking about too, because I remember the leg shaving scene. No, the scene you're talking about where they were squirting ketchup in the face.
Yeah.
That was when the one girl was kind of sealed away in a cabin and she eventually like rotted away. And the one guy grabbed a shovel and started beating her to death with it. That's when they had the ketchup and they were squirting it at him. No, and I remember that exact scene too. Like I remember exactly what we're talking about.
That is so okay. Was he beating her to death to just put her out of her misery?
To put her out of her misery.
Jesus Christ. That movie sounded so scary to me.
And really, it's listed as like a black comedy. And I'm like, I don't agree with that statement.
They're decaying. Ugh. Anyway, sorry.
That's fine. Well, actually, I was thinking, so since you don't have your own segment and I'm going to get into the top 10 of the next one, I was thinking we could take a quick pause, refill the drinks, and we'll be right back.
We will be back. Zoom. Hello.
All right, we're back, and it was a very quick break. We did not take like a half-hour minute to talk about anything at all.
I think it was an hour.
No, I don't think it was an hour.
I think it was a full hour.
It might have been an hour. Anyway, so I am now talking about, so this is Amazon Prime 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments of All Time. And this is from 2022. And it is on Shudder, I believe, to watch. So check it out if you would like, because I think it was really cool. Gave me both lists gave me a lot of movies to check out for future episodes. But we'll just hop right into it with number 10. At number 10, we have Ringu.
Ooh, shit.
Specifically, the Japanese 1998 Ringu. Not the shitty fucking Ring from 2002, which
I liked The Ring. I thought
no,
it was
the Ring
fine.
sucked.
Oh,
the
God,
Ring
okay.
sucked.
Oh, we hate The Ring, I guess.
Nothing fucking happened in The Ring.
The people got scary faces when they died. That's
yeah,
scary.
and they did the 1998 one too.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guarantee you the other one's probably better.
The 1998, the Japanese one?
Oh, yeah. The Japanese one's probably way better.
Yeah, it's 100% better.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I just assume.
But here, I think this spot is well deserved for a couple of reasons. So the first one is it's terrifying. It was made in 1998, and a lot of the practical effects that they used really hold up. Like I mentioned earlier about the Carrie effect, where like they did it in reverse.
Ooh, yeah.
They did something similar, which is this scene. The scene that is chosen here is where she finally, you see her come through the TV at the very end. They actually did that whole scene in reverse, and then they put it forward, so it looks really like unnatural when it like it's really creepy. Even now, like I was like watching, I was like, oh, I don't like the way it looks. So a lot of the practical effects hold up really well even today, I think. And
that's neat.
Additionally, it's the original. This one is the original Ringu. Like it's not The Ring, like I said earlier. Which the Bravo one did not even mention Ringu, but instead they put The Ring, the American one, at number 20.
Oh,
which I actually think is really disrespectful a little bit, because it's like, at the same time, it was 2004. So I want to give space for that. But like what I'm happy with right now is that this movie is getting the flowers it deserved, because it literally set the stage so that the 2002 one could succeed.
Have you seen both?
I've only seen the 2002 one because that's the only one I own, and I cannot find the Japanese one, even though I'm sure I could find it if I really, really tried. And I really, really do want to watch that one because I'm sure it would be better.
I see. My question is the story the same or is it different? Because
I think for the most part, it is the same.
it's the same.
Girl videotape.
8 days, you're gonna die.
7 days.
7 days, whatever. She lives in a well. Something.
She doesn't live in a well. She was killed in a well.
She was killed in a well, but she also lives there sometimes.
She also comes out of it.
But like, I felt like when I watched the 2002 one, I was like, yeah, but like, why does she come out of the TV? Like, why does she call you? Why is it 7 days? Like, I remember having a lot of questions that I was hoping would get answered and they weren't.
I don't necessarily know if the Japanese version answers any of those questions either, unfortunately.
All right. Well then.
But here are my exact notes. So I said, kind of similar to what I said before. I was like, I feel like this movie is finally getting the flowers it well deserves. Also, because the 2002 Ring movie blew ass. Nothing fucking happened. And it got number 20, not on my watch. Also, I have a very distinct memory of this one. It was one of those rare times where it was back when Grandma lived at her other place. And Jeff and Colin came out.
Our cousins.
Yes. And I can't remember what spurred the conversation, but they said I think they were talking to like Dad or something. And they said like, have you seen The Ring? And I was like, oh yeah, I really liked it. I really liked Frodo and Sam, like, and Gandalf and stuff, like, and they were like, no, like not Lord of the Rings. There's another movie called The Ring. And I was like, no. So like that, and it's so vivid in my mind. It's one of those moments. And then I watched it years later and I'm like, wow, this movie fucking sucks. You pussy ass bitches. Like,
Lord of the Rings is so much better.
Lord of the Rings is so much better. It's so much better. Anyway.
You peached that mic so hard.
Anyway. Number 9. Train to Busan. Or
Yeah.
Busan. I'm so sorry. I'm probably butchering it. My white ass. Train to Busan. It is definitely 100% on my list of movies that I'm going to watch for this podcast. So get into it. But the scene, if I remember correctly, is the one that there's a train that's leaving. And
that's leaving to go to Busan? Sorry.
But like there's like, but during it, like a bunch of the zombies, like one zombie grabs it and then another zombie kind of grabs the feet. And suddenly there's like a train of zombies. And it's like, it was very like, I think you saw like videos like that World War Z,
yes,
which was nothing like the book. But it was like kind of going up over, like it was very much like that, where it's like this, like almost like an anthill of zombies trying to stop this train from going on. It's terrifying. But I've heard nothing but good things about this movie. It's 100% on my to watch list. I will be doing this movie sometime soon, so don't even worry about it. I'll get more into it later.
Sweet. That sounds fun.
Next movie is one I've done. I've done a lot of these, but like one I've done. Sinister. It's the lawn mowing scene.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
So basically, you know, like the movie is strung together with a bunch of like movies about like home movies where basically kids kill their parents or whatever, or their family.
Or some shit, yeah.
No, and this is the reason I was like, I actually thought that this movie, I don't agree with this scene at all. Like
I thought it was pretty mid-tier when you told me about it.
Thank you. Yeah, this scene is very mid. Like, this is one of the ones where I was like, really? The chest burster? The
got
opening
beat
scene
out for this?
Yeah, the opening scene from Jaws. Like, the scene from Silence of the Lambs. Like, I'm sorry. What? For the lawnmower? Like, yes. Is it a decent jump scare? Absolutely. Does it deserve to be on this list because it is like a newer horror movie that was not shit? Yes. Does it deserve to be number 8? I 100% disagree that this movie, like, that this scene should be on there. I don't think that this was nearly as scary. It was a what are my exact words? My exact words were, I actually thought this scene wasn't that amazing. I truly think there are better ones that are lower on the list that should have been here. It's a good jump scare, but like I even said, like the chest burster is a better jump scare. Like if we're judging on jump scares, the chest burster is a better jump scare, not because it's just a jump scare. It also furthers the plot.
And it leaves lingering fear because it's still out there. Also, question, does the kid just kill everyone with a lawnmower?
Yeah, it's just a lawnmower. And the only thing that's scary about it is that you see like a kid pushing a lawnmower. Suddenly there's a human face and there's a burst of humans screaming. But here's a fun fact. The only thing that this character is putting this through is a video reel. There's no sound attached to it. So why would there have been any sound? Like, even logistically, it doesn't make any sense.
Awesome. Well,
it's a classic film reel. You know, it's like a reel of film. It's not like a videotape where there's sound that comes through it.
But like ghosts,
it's just video.
Possessed it. So
no, it's cheap fucking jump scares. Is what it is. It was trying to get a cheap scare.
And Logan's mad. He's playing really fast and loose at that fan.
I'm mad
and all
about
of the noises that it's making.
I'm mad about it. No, there are so many movies that are lower on, or I shouldn't say movies because it is scenes. It's movie scenes. There are plenty of movie scenes that are lower on this list that should be here.
That's fair.
So I am a little like, this is one of the only ones on this list where I was like, really? This one?
Yeah, I don't agree.
Okay. Like I was expecting to see Sinister on this list because it came out in 2016, I want to say. So I knew that it would be on this list.
Of 101 things.
Yeah. This high though, I was a little shocked. I agree. Beating out especially like heavy hitters like Silence of the Lambs, Jaws, and Alien, I don't think. Anyway, so now we're going to kind of go to one that kind of fell a little bit here. So in the previous list, The Exorcist was number 3. In this list, it has been moved to number 7.
Damn.
Not only that, but the scene has actually been changed. It is no longer the 360 scene. I think, though, that the scene that they chose for this one is a little better.
Can I take a guess?
Yes.
Backwards down the stairs.
No.
What?
Very good guess. A very good guess.
That's scary to me. That fucked me up.
What about the scene where she's masturbating violently with a crucifix?
That freaked me out, but the stairs scared me more.
The stairs are a scary scene. I 100% think that should be a little more taken into account. However, I think that the scene that they chose with with Reagan masturbating with the crucifix is both terrifying. It's telling a lot about like the story where it's like, this is literally something of the devil. Like, and then also the imagery of a young girl doing that with a crucifix and there's blood. And then she's like telling Ellen Bernstein to like lick her and like putting her face in that area. It's like Linda Blair and Ellen Bernstein act this scene so fucking good. Like this scene is so well done. It's terrifying and it's horrible and it pushes the envelope and what is okay, but it does it so good. It's terrifying. Ellen Bernstein actually hurt herself during this scene because it was so intense and like there was like things that were happening. And also this scene is actually the first scene where Reagan turns her head around. Like people like quote like the 360 because that is when she does the first 360. But in this scene, she turns her head 180 so that it's just on her back. And then she's like, do you know what she did? Your cunting daughter? Like, that's the first scene where the head turning happened. So it's like, I think that scene, because that scene set up the 360 head turn.
It did.
Because it proved that was something that could happen.
This
so
movie,
I think it's a better scene choice.
Yeah. This movie's so good.
It was really good.
So old, and yet I watched it and I was so unsettled and scared. Like they did a great job.
That's one of the great things about cinema is it doesn't matter when you're watching the movie. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like you could be watching like an old black and white movie, but like you're kind of like you almost are transported in my mind. Like, I'll watch fucking Attack of the Shrews or whatever the fuck it was called, and suddenly I'm in an old movie theater watching this movie, and I'm like, what's happening? You know? I don't know. Is that a universal feeling?
No, but I think that's good. As someone who watches movies, I want you to be transported to that time.
Especially like the older ones. There's part of me that there's like a nostalgia that I never experienced because I was obviously not alive.
Yes.
I don't even think my parents were alive. So, you know, bits and pieces. But so that is in this one, number 7 is The Exorcist. And I've already touched that number 6 is the same on both lists, which is The Shining, which I think is incredible still. Number 5, kind of a bump, but Psycho. Same scene, still the shower scene. And honestly, pumping it to number 5, I think that's perfectly respectable. It, again, like I said, it had a profound effect on people. I think definitely within the top 10, I still think in terms of, if we're talking about like iconic scenes, it still could have been a little higher, but here we are. I wasn't the one making decisions. And that's where it kind of gets to like subjective kind of like the whole list is subjective. It's like we could argue all day and night in both of let me tell you this, in both of these lists, Sleepaway Camp is nowhere, and yet I would be putting it in the list 100%. So here
it's not even at all.
No, not at all. What? In both lists, even the one from 2004, it's not there.
Bullshit.
So like it's completely subjective. We're just having fun. We're just having fun about it right now. Number 4 is the movie Audition.
Oh shit. I've heard of this.
Yes, this is another one that's on my to watch list. I've heard it's really good. And it's the final scene that was here where the girl starts cutting off his feet with a wire. And it was on the Bravo list because it did come out during that time. It moved from this list. It moved from number 11 to number 4.
Damn.
So that's a pretty big upgrade. It is. I watched the scene. It's disgusting. Like they did it so. It's so good. Like it's so well done. It's terrifying, and also the backdrop of this scene or of this movie as a whole. It's like a rom-com that goes wrong at the end. Because it's like you're Sleepless in Seattle, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to like find a love. It's very much like it's like those rom-coms where it's like, oh, something's gonna you know, it's like I'm trying to find love, but in a really weird, unorthodox way. And this guy is like, I'm trying to find love in a really weird, unorthodox way, where I'm holding auditions for people who will be my girlfriend, and then maybe we love each other, and then he finally picks a girl who ends up maiming him.
Holy shit.
So I love that idea that this is like a rom-com gone wrong.
A wrong-com.
A wrong-com. So I love that idea. And so it, again, similar to Train to Busan, this is 100% on my watch list. So look out. Next one, and this is one that I was like, all right, when I was watching the new one, I was like, where is this movie going to land? Because this movie absolutely, especially as a new horror movie, 100% has to be on this list. Hereditary.
Yep.
Is number 3. And it's specifically the scene where Toni Collette is on the wall. Like it's at the end where she's like kind of been possessed
climbs
and she's like
backwards.
Yeah, and she like then that kind of whole chase scene kind of bit.
Do we do Hereditary?
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay.
I think.
Sweet.
I'm almost positive I did.
Honestly, audience, we've done like almost all these movies. So if you don't know the scenes we're talking about, we probably talked about it in depth.
I say the only movies from here that I have not done in both lists. The only movies I've not done are Wait Until Dark. Otherwise, I've done all the other ones. No, I haven't done Psycho. Actually, incredibly, I have not done Psycho. I do. That's another one that 100% I need to do. I've not done. I did The Ring, which I hated, but I have not done Ringu. So if I can find it, I will do Ringu. Train to Busan, I have not done. I think I did Sinister, and
You did.
I was okay with it. An Audition. Those are the only ones on this whole list I haven't done.
All right, so you can go listen to those episodes if you're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, but Hereditary. I even in my notes were I was honestly waiting the whole special to see where Hereditary ended up because
when are they going to put it?
I honestly believe that it's one of the best new horror movies within the last few years. But at the same time, I do want to stress we've been absolutely blessed these last few years with some amazing horror. Like there was a dearth where it was all like gore porn and ghosty goo shit.
I love ghosty goo shit.
I like ghosty goo shit when it's done well, like Conjuring or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I don't like I was like Sinister. If you were to like, what would you rate Sinister out of 5 stars? Like I'd be like 3 max.
Yeah,
like it was okay. Fair. Like so like Hereditary, I think is one of the really good ones. There are plenty of other standouts within the last few years, but I think Hereditary is 100% a standout. The next one, number 2. We're on number 2 now. This is probably the biggest upgrade of all of them. And also one that I agree with. The Thing.
Yeah.
Specifically, this one, the defibrillator scene.
Oh, shit.
Where the one guy's hands get bit off by the creature. So this is the biggest upgrade because the Bravo one had it at number 48.
Damn, to number 2.
Yep, to number 2. Additionally, the scene that was number 48 on the Bravo one was the blood testing scene.
Ooh, okay.
Rather than the defibrillator scene. And I do agree. I don't know if I agree with it being this high up on the list. Like 2 is a little like but I do agree that this movie as a whole is worthy of it because it's one of those ones that paved the way for a lot of movies.
And it's freaky.
It's freaky. It's still really good.
The effects are so good.
Oh, and they're all practical effects. Like, so they're all really good. 100% I recommend if you haven't watched it. But that's number 2. Number 1. If you remember correctly, I had mentioned how one Texas Chainsaw Massacre. On this list is number 1.
Damn, bitch.
And it's the exact same scene.
Thud.
My exact notes are 10 question marks. Like I loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but number 1, I don't think. But it's all subjective, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
But at the same time, if you were to ask me, Logan, what is the number 1 scariest movie moment in your mind? I would go through so many fucking movies. It would be so hard to disseminate what the scariest one is, except for the fact that I know that it's the one from Jaws because that one literally has prevented me from entering any kind of body of water for years to come. So I know for me, it is Jaws.
Still in effect.
Yes.
Huh. Gosh, that's really
But
hard.
I feel like for other people, maybe it'd be hard. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not saying that I do not hold an infinite reverence for Texas Chainsaw because of the profound effect that it had in the horror genre. And like people will say that Halloween put the final girl on the map, and I will be the one on the front lines for Texas Chainsaw being like, really? Because like I think Texas Chainsaw kind of started it. Like I'd be out there with the other people putting like, and also being like, Black Christmas. Like,
yeah.
wait, no, I need it. When did Black Christmas come out?
I don't know.
I'd have to look. But it's like I don't think that I'd be there being like, I don't think Halloween started the final girl. I think there are plenty of other movies that started the final girl, but here we are. And I think that Texas Chainsaw was right there at the forefront. Is what I think.
It was one of the first, and it was good. I like that episode we did. I've never seen it, so I can't say I like the movie.
It's good. I do like Texas Chainsaw. The thing about Texas Chainsaw is it does start to get a little old after a while because despite what people will make you think, Texas Chainsaw is not nearly as bloody or action-y as the people at the time would make you think. It was much tamer. Like there's literally, you don't see a drop of blood the entire movie. I shouldn't say a drop of blood. You do see like
you don't. I remember in our episode, you told me that her shirt at the end was like stained completely with blood. But yes. I don't think you see like blood spattering, murdering happening.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happens. You don't see it actually happening, but it's there. So,
but honestly, there's like the fear of the unknown. How did they finish the job? Like, oh, what's happening behind that closed door?
I agree. That's I think the thing that makes, and I think that's what a lot of, especially like new horror movies that do try to capitalize on the fact that we do have all these special effects now, where it's like, it makes it less scary, I think. It makes it less scary to see. Yeah, I think they forget that it's like, okay, well, now you're desensitizing me to mindless violence. Like,
good for you.
Good for you.
I could watch anything and that would happen.
You found another way to cut open a human body. Who gives a shit? Find a way to scare me. Where are the student loans?
Well,
but yeah.
God damn it.
So, well, okay, what I would like you to give me, what are some movies that you're like surprised to not hear or like would like to know the placement of? I can pull up the Amazon one because I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, one that has feared me from when I started watching horror movies is It Chapter 1. Was that in there at all?
I think It Chapter 1 is in the new one. Let me just double check that here for you.
That scared the poo out of me.
I do think that was a very scary one. I will just double check and see. I think the OG It was on one of them. Well, you know what's funny? The letters IT are really common.
Turns out
it's really hard to look up. So
you just Google it and see what comes up.
So what I'm going to say, I cannot find it. I cannot find it on here, but I swear to God it was. But I literally cannot find it.
Well, that's fair. You can't name your book or your movie something as common as the word it and expect it not to be hard to find.
It Follows was on there.
Which part?
When the really tall guy comes in.
Oh, the tall man? Okay.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. I didn't think It Follows was that scary. I'll say it. I'll do it.
No,
I'll be brave.
I agree with you. I didn't even have the gall to watch it because I think it was that.
Okay,
scary.
well, don't agree with me then. It's a good idea. I like the idea a lot. I just I wasn't as scared as I thought I was gonna be.
Yeah.
And then it was over, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, never mind. Was Conjuring on there at all?
Conjuring was on there.
Because I love
I
The Conjuring.
know for a fact The Conjuring was on there.
Oh, it was probably... No, wait, I'm thinking of Insidious.
The Conjuring was number 48.
Oh, shit, okay. That's not that good.
Was Insidious on there? I am
The part where the guy, the scary demon man, you see his face?
No, I know what you're talking about. Let me just double check here. There are some that's like Dr. Sleep, and I'm like, really? Dr. Sleep? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I love Ewan McGregor, though. I know he did a good job.
Well, I remember specifically the one in Dr. Sleep is the scene where they kill a young boy, and it's very visceral.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to see that.
Surprising, I'm not finding as Insidious on this one.
What?
Oh, okay. No, it chapter 7 chapter 7. Where I don't know where I got that. But
it just keeps going.
It chapter 1 was on the list. It was number 26.
Sweet.
Well, I was trying to find
Conjuring?
No, I found The Conjuring. I already told you.
Oh, I thought you told me Insidious. Oh, okay.
No, you asked for Insidious. I'm trying to find.
I don't know what I asked for anymore.
I don't know what I want. Give me just a second here. Yeah, I'm not finding it. I feel like it was for some reason.
Dr. Sleep, though. Can't get over it. Guess what? I'm gonna piss my pants.
Us was on there. I'm also about to pee my
so
pants.
we gotta wrap it up.
Well, can we pause it really quick?
It's almost 10 o'clock. I have to go to sleep.
I know. We'll just take a pause, then we'll go pee, because I still have to do a sibling story.
Okay, we'll be right back. All right, we're back.
All right, we're back. So basically what I'll get at it is if you want to watch either of these things, they are 100% accessible to you and will give you plenty of movies to watch. Between the YouTube video for Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments, which is, like I said, it's on YouTube as of right now. I don't know how long that'll be. I found out that The Tick was on YouTube, and then within a week of saying that, it was gone.
It's not on YouTube anymore?
Yeah, it was gone so quickly, McCall.
Fuck. All right.
I cannot find it. And I hate it so much because I love The Tick.
I love The Tick. Ugh.
And then Amazon Prime, it's on there. I don't know if it's a Shudder exclusive. I would hazard a guess that it is a Shudder exclusive. So if you have Shudder, check out the 101 Scariest Movie Moments of all time. Tons of movies. I mean, shit, even if you just want to Google it, it will give you the lists for both of them. And so if you're just looking for recommendations and you're like, I haven't seen that movie before, 100% Google either one of them. It'll give you the full list. But yeah, so are there any other movies that you were surprised to not hear?
I mean, I definitely think Exorcist for sure. I'm surprised Jaws wasn't in the newer one.
It was there. It was just not in the top 10.
Not in the top 10. Psycho, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I don't super agree with number 1, but I feel like that's not my place.
I also agree. Also, I hate what they did with the new Texas Chainsaw.
But that's just me.
And if I could draw and quarter the people who were responsible, I would think about it. I wouldn't do it.
We have an episode on that one too.
It's called Sally Deserved Better.
And she sure did.
She surely did.
God damn it.
But let's wrap this one up. I'll give you a sibling story. So I work for a company that does things with mental health. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And again, to completely remove any client identities, we'll say an individual called and they were looking for a couple services. They were looking for two specific services. And I was like, oh, like I had gone through like collecting their information and all that good stuff. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but we actually don't do service A, and we don't do service B either.
Ouch.
I said both of those things. And I was very apologetic. I felt so bad because this person was very nice. And then as I said it, my power flickered.
Oh.
And I disconnected from the call. And
goodbye, bitch.
And so what that person heard was, I'm so sorry. We don't do X and we don't do Y. Clat.
Clack. Goodbye. Have fun.
I was so embarrassed. Like, I felt so bad. I felt so bad that had happened, and that the client, once my power had come back on and once the internet was back up, I immediately called this person back and I said, I'm so sorry. Please call us back so that we can maybe get you in.
Or something else.
I hope they did, because I have not heard back from them.
They're probably fine.
But it was so embarrassing.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't want to get any specifics because I don't want to breach any confidentiality, but that was the situation. It was super embarrassing.
So I don't want to one-up you or anything about like work power issues, but I was at my work, which is in a building. It's not, I don't work from home. I work like at a place. We're on like the higher floor. So I'm like up there. We're just sitting there doing our thing. And like, I hear an explosion and like the building shakes. And then we're all kind of like quiet. Like, did you feel that? And then we hear a second explosion and the building shakes again. And like, you'd think that people would respond more quickly to two explosions. But no one really got up or anything.
I would have been out the door the first explosion.
So I get up and I like walk over to the window. Like, what the fuck was that? And there's like plumes of smoke coming up from like the front of the building. And I'm like, hey, everyone, we gotta go. Like, there is no alarms. There is no anything. All the power goes out. But like, nothing. No, nothing. All of the workers just kind of look around like, I can't, but the lights, I don't know. So we all like rush out and there is an active fire in front of the building. And it turns out someone, I don't know how, hit the generator in front of our building with their car and exploded it. And like,
Jesus Christ.
The fire department's coming. I'm seeing them fight flames. And I'm like, why didn't the alarm go off? And they're like, well, it did for the first floor, but like the higher floors, it didn't need to. And I'm like, okay.
It absolutely needed to.
You didn't think that we all needed to leave the building right now immediately?
McCall, that's a lawsuit. What you described is a lawsuit.
I'm sure that it was fine in some legal sense.
No, McCall. That's a lawsuit.
We got out. I'm fine.
You're fine now, but that's a lawsuit.
Feeling the first explosion, I was like, I don't know why my brain thought of like Cloverfield, where like the big alien comes down.
You're like, this is it.
The aliens are here.
The aliens.
Godzilla monsters are coming. Kaiju. So yeah, that's where my brain went immediately, which maybe isn't healthy. I don't know. There are probably some real threats I could have been thinking of instead. But yeah.
McCall, tell them where we're at. And also, McCall, tell them about your part.
What? What about my part?
Your part 2.
Yeah.
To this episode.
If you like listening to us talk, because we like listening to us talk, we're going to have a part 2 to this frickin' 100th episode. And you're gonna be like, what? She's talking about that? And I'll be like, yeah. So, if you want to see...
100th episode special, it's a two-parter. You can't tell us that it is episode 101.
It's not.
Because we already have episode 101 recorded, so don't get your panties in a twist.
It's already happening. But if you want to see what I have decided to do for our 100th episode, and it's going to blow your fucking mind, then you should turn yourself around and tune in next week, because it'll be there. Oof.
Turn the beat around.
I can't talk. But if you want to email us, we are livingvicescariously@gmail.com or livingscarypodcast@gmail.com. We are also on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram, and we look at those. We're on Facebook too, but we don't look at that, so maybe don't look at that one. But yeah, so you should talk to us. You should let us know what horror movies you want us to discuss, what true crime stories you're interested in, and if you have a sibling story that you want to shout out on the podcast, we will do that for you. So just talk to us, man. Anyway. Oh, sorry. Logan, take us out.
It's 100 scariest movie moments.
That's what I was like. Movie moment.
It's scariest.
So scary.